Good morning, Dawn Stens-Lamenti here. You're watching The Dawn Show. We are live and we are local. It is a day of grief and questions following the weekend tragedy that claimed the life of Lewis Katz, Inquirer co-owner and Temple alum who is loved by Philadelphia and, of course, South Jersey. Federal investigators trying to figure out what caused that fiery crash of a private jet that carried Katz and 6 others. No survivors. Joining me now is somebody who knew Katz very well, and he is the president of Temple University Health Systems and a dear friend of mine, Dr. Larry Kaiser. It's so good to have you here.
No, it's great to be here.
And of course, we plan to have you here and talk about all that Temple is doing that was planned months ago. And I'm so sorry for your loss and personally, as well as the Temple family.
Yeah, I thought it worked out rather timely that we were doing this today. We had planned this months ago, and with the events of this weekend, I think it really is an opportunity to talk about some of the things we're doing at Temple, but how much Lewis Katz actually meant to Temple and to me personally.
And, you know, the plane crash happened Saturday night. You actually spent hours with him just Friday morning.
I was fortunate to have breakfast with him Friday morning. Mike Milken joined us as well, who was in town, in fact. But I spent 3 hours with Lewis on Friday morning and talked about a lot of things. And it just, yeah, I mean, I always talk to him on the phone, but it just so happened that we had set up this breakfast on Friday.
And you know, when you know, the paper and the stations, you know, today, just hearts going out, but also thinking about the impact he had on Temple as a Temple alum, Bill Cosby coming out and paying tribute. You know, how does that impact the university, and how will the university pay tribute to Mr. Katz?
Well, first of all, his impact extended well beyond Temple University, but he had such tremendous loyalty to Temple and love for Temple. As many people may know, he was just honored with an honorary degree from Temple at our commencement on May the 15th. He gave the commencement address, which was absolutely spectacular, and he talked about his humble beginnings in Camden. His father died before he was 1 year old, raised by a single mother, never forgot where he came from. But his influence extended well beyond Temple, including areas in Camden and here in New Jersey, but his love for Temple was very far-reaching. He and Cosby, in fact, were classmates. Cosby was at the graduation. They talked a lot. There's always a banter between them. But in terms of what it means for Temple, over and above the fact that he gave the largest gift in Temple's history, he's been responsible for so many things, helping us with dollars from the Commonwealth, bringing people to Temple. So it's a tremendous loss for me personally, but also for the university.
Yeah, and for his family, his wife just died within the past year, and then leaving behind two children, a son and a daughter. You know, and also I know that it affects you because your father-in-law, Ed Snyder, who was just in the paper, and we were going to talk about, you know, his impact of coming out and saying, yes, I have been battling cancer. You know, for your family, and here's a beautiful picture, one of my favorites of Ed, my dear friend, your wife Lindy, at, what was this, the Barnes opening?
That was the Barnes opening, yes.
Some of my favorite photos, and this is another charity event. Maybe, you know, Lewis Katz was at some of these events. But for your father-in-law coming out and publicly saying, yes, I've been battling cancer, what does that do for the public perception as far as saying, I get checked, I caught this early, and you're going to be okay as long as you go and get your checkups?
So first of all, Ed and Lewis were very close.
Yeah.
I mean, Ed really felt like Lewis was a brother to him. They got together frequently, they traveled together, so they were very, very close. In terms of his own illness, I think that it's a very positive thing when someone of his prominence comes forward and says, yeah, look, I've been treated, and this is something that was found early, that is treatable, and hopefully the public will see that it is reasonable to go see your doctor if something's bothering you. And that was certainly the situation with him. So it was discovered early, he's being treated, and you know, we think that things will work out very well. but there's lessons to be learned there.
Yeah, absolutely. And my condolences to Ed too. I mean, this is just, and I'm trying to walk carefully because I know you and we're friends, and so it's one of those things where I think there's a lot of awareness and a lot of good to pay tribute, but I don't want to step on toes too much here. But it's obviously a sad day for your family and for our community as well.
It is. And Lindy and I were at the house with Ed yesterday, and
Is he doing okay?
he's doing okay, but this devastated him, as it did for many of us. And we found out very early yesterday morning, and did have a chance to spend some time with he and Lynn yesterday. So, but it's the whole combination of things, really.
And so his last treatment's Wednesday, and that's the day of Lewis's funeral, the same?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh my goodness. Dr. Kaiser, we're going to talk about the latest with Temple. So much exciting going on with Temple. And a little bit, since we have Father's Day coming up, about Dr. Kaiser being the biggity big with Temple and balancing life with 6 kids and a very busy life. More with Dr. Larry Kaiser when we come back as we take a look at the beautiful Camden waterfront.